doing really well this evening, just trying to find the right angle for this. I'm finished with TOS. They're all saying sack Amorim as the effing plays. Can play a simple system. Bruno needs dropping. And sure, we never play. So I'm going to go on a little bit of a rant tonight. But Amorim, he's not the problem. Amorim for me doesn't get away with it scot-free. But I'm going to have my opinion. I'm going to get into it. If you have just joined, what I'm going to say is get into the chat tonight. I've got no doubt we're going to get absolutely spammed tonight with a load of stuff. There's many things I'm going to go on about tonight, Scotty. Hope you're well. Scott is a legend of the chat. You know, it is very, 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 very frustrating right now. I've got my thoughts on Amorim. I'm going to give you my thoughts on that. Also going to give you my thoughts on the players. And I'm just going to basically spend the first part of the show giving my opinion, not because my opinion is the best, but I've got to get my stuff off my chest. Get into the chat, and I will read out your chats. Get your frustrations out. Don't get your frustrations out on this community, because ultimately it's not this community's fault. It's, you know, we are very, very, very frustrated. But I'm going to get into it, and I'm going to have a rant and tell you my opinion on this. There's going to be many people who are Amorim out tonight. Debbie, please, I love you, but let's get this joker out. I've seen the press; he's insane. I blame the players. So, each fan, I'm gonna go into it. I'll give you my opinion. I am not expecting everybody to toe the same line as me. I'll give you my opinion for what it's worth. Amorim doesn't get away with it scot-free, but I'm going to give you my opinion. Now, first of all, today, I just want to say what an absolute fucking disgrace today was. Now, I am absolutely livid on this one. Now, let's get into Amorim and why I think Amorim is basically going to sack himself. I've got my list of stuff. And the first thing I want to say on this is, number one, for those of you who want to sack him, I get it. But let's be clear on this one. Conte won a title playing a back five. Ten Hag got sacked playing a back four. Oli got sacked playing a back four. Jose got sacked playing a back four. It is not the formation. It is not. It really isn't. It is not the formation. It is not the tactics. It is the fucking unbelievable, absolute. And Steve Ricks, I promise you guys, I will go through your chats. I'll come back and I will go through all of your chats. I'm just going to get this off of my chest, because Steve, the substitution of Maguire was baffling by Amorim, and Amorim is not going to get away with it tonight. So for those of you who are talking about formations and the tactics, it really isn't. It really. Now, I absolutely understand that we do need two in that midfield. Now, and I will come on to that, but I just wanted to say that it is not the formation. It is not the tactics. It is these absolute piss poor, underperforming, pathetic players. Amorim is going to get it. Now, first thing to say, if we sack this manager, it will financially cripple us. We have spent £200 million, and I'll get into that on the transfers as well, because I think that the transfers were an absolute fucking joke. And this is why I scored the window low, is because of the things that I've said that are now becoming true. Financially, it will destroy us. To get rid of him, to start this whole thing again, if you're going to get a manager who plays a back four, these are not his plays. He's got a bunch of number 10s. It's not going to happen. Okay, Amorim is stubborn. I don't get why he's playing Fernandes as a number 8. Fernandes is not a number 8. Now, we'll get on to him in the players section. This is where I will sort of defend a little bit. Fernandes is a specialist number 10. Playing him in that number 8 is criminal. Being stubborn and using him as a number 8. Fulham worked this out. City played counter-attack today against us. They swamped the midfield and countered us. What an absolute joke. So I don't know what Amorim's doing. I'm playing fucking Luke Shaw. I mean, I've been saying this about Luke Shaw since pre-season. He's utter utter dog shit. And I've been banging that drum about Luke Shaw, and I've said Luke Shaw's done. He's got no pace. And I respect your guys' opinion on Luke Shaw, but I've personally been saying that Luke Shaw, and I've been consistent on this, is done. Today, he was abysmal. Today, he was at fault for at least 2 of those goals. He put a hospital ball through, I think, for the 3rd goal. Absolutely today, absolutely abysmal. So Amorim's stubbornness in trying to put these square pegs into round holes needs to stop. And this Bruno experiment, as many of us have said, is that Bruno Fernandes, he's going to live or die on Bruno Fernandes. And the amount of managers who have had their favourites in this team, Rashford, these players will sack a manager, and they're doing it again. So for me, I absolutely do not understand. It is stubbornness. Now, I will die on this hill. It is not the tactics. It is not the formation. If you are a Premier League player, you know how to play a game. So the Grimsby game for me showed me that this fucking team is low IQ. Fernandes today, as a performance, one of the worst performances I've ever seen. How was that a captain's performance? Now, I completely get that he is a number 10. But where is he? He's petulant. He's moaned. He is absolutely abysmal. So for me, the reasons why I'm not Amorim out, and I don't blame people who are, okay? I'm not disrespecting your opinion, and I completely understand why you would be Amorim out. Completely understand that the record isn't great. But there's 2 reasons for me. Number one, it will cripple us. We cannot. We have, and whether or not Amorim is the guy. I'm not arguing now whether Amorim is the guy. He may not be the guy. I'm not arguing with people who are Amorim in or out, but Amorim in or out for me right now is irrelevant. There is no manager in world football that is going to come into this club with this set of wasters and fix this problem. If we're going to fix this problem, we need to get rid of this whole team and start again. We're going to need to spend £1 billion on this team. And I'll get on to the signings as well and why I scored this window as low as I did. When everyone else around me was saying, no, it was 9s and 8s. A lot of us did say that it was 3s and 4s. And people like Scott were saying it's 3s and 4s. And there was a reason for that. So for me, Amorim, whether you're Amorim in or out, it is not about that now. It is about Amorim could even walk. Right, Amorim could walk. With these players, Amorim is not going to survive this. So Amorim could either get sacked. He's sacking himself if he continues to be stubborn. These players will get him sacked. So the next thing, let me go through some of these chats as well. Scott said about the play. It looked even worse when Maguire came on. I agree. Grimsby figured us out. They said they knew how to play against us. If they do, then everyone does. Steve Rick says hi. Yo, what's up? So Jamie says I don't care about the formation. It's just we don't have the players for it. I agree. I get Amorim picks the team, but the players can't play a simple system. If we get a take it, he'll be gone within 6 months. And the same shit again. Jim Radcliffe looked tired and fed up. I agree. Luke Power says afternoon. Hello, my friend. Adam says he'll bring back the glory days. Drop Bruno. Radcliffe should walk into Amorim's office and say you're fired. And he's found. I disagree, but I respect the opinion. If you sack him or he leaves, who's going to come in? Steve, and that's exactly my point, my friend. Who comes in? Who comes in if Amorim gets sacked? Amorim is sacking himself. Let's not pretend. And there were many people in this chat today, and I'm going to call some of these out, not because I'm calling them out for the bad things, but do you know what? Maybe they've got a point. So there's not Brett May, who was in the chat today, and he hates his manager. But when he's saying, and there are other people that come on here and say, look, this manager will be sacked. He's going to be sacked. After that result today, how can I argue with that? How can I possibly argue with that? Now, I am Amorim for the reasons that I've stated. I don't want to sack another manager. It will cost us. But I'm absolutely going to die on my sword and say, if we sack another manager, this cycle will continue. And I said, he needs to change his system or we'll be screwed. I mean, Luke, again, all these opinions tonight, the good thing about tonight's show is that these opinions are a valid opinion, right? Somebody's going to be right. Someone's going to be right. Somebody will be wrong. And whatever your opinion is, what I implore the community and what I implore everybody to do, let's not argue amongst ourselves. This community is very, very good at respect. Okay, and if you are in the chat, please like, favorite, subscribe, comment. Let me know your comments. What I'm going to say first and foremost is, as fans, one of the things that we need to do is logically talk about this. So whether we're Amorim in or Amorim out or Amorim shaky or about, right? Tonight, the fans shouldn't be at each other because we're all trying to achieve the same thing. What we're trying to do is we're trying to make this club good again. So I think that is the number one thing I want you guys to take away from this tonight. And I will read out your chats. Is that we shouldn't be at each other's throat. It's not your fault. It's not my fault. We're going to have a difference of opinion, but I do appreciate tonight is going to be very much a show that could be on the edge. So all I'm going to say to us, let's prefix this with respect for each other before we go at each other. Stubborn, he's taking the P. No, Amorim should not be sacked. It's the plays. We can't play a simple system. Subman, thank you. I really appreciate that, my friend. Danny B says, big up. Luke Powell says, hi. Nish fans go, if you can't play the system, then why play the system? Janet McGregor says, 67. Hit a like button. Exactly, guys. Give us a big old like because it's his system. It's the same of you was at work and you got asked to do something new and had months to learn something, then you're to blame. Andrew Edward says, both points can be true. The players may not be good enough, but the manager can also be poor. Just because he talks in the media, he suits doesn't mean he suits the Prem. Andrew, very, very good comment there myself. A very, very good comment there by yourself. Neil Crow says, I'm done now. Bringing on Kobe 2-0 was nothing short of disgrace. And before other players, I think I'm just blaming the manager. I will list players who need to be gone. Martin faces, I'm sick of looking at this teammate. I have no trust anymore. Alpha FF says our attack was on point, but we can't score. We're doing what we did last season. Just can't get the goals. And Scott, by your analogy, Amorim has had months to learn. This goal should have sold Bruno this summer, and all that money we could have bought. Believe it. I'll get into all this as well, guys. The same shit will happen. I agree. Tugo just says, hi, hello, my friend. What's up? The Man United issue owner or head coach or players or fans. AR, I'll come into all that, my friend. He's not the fans. The first thing AR, I will say is AR, I'm Amorim in. Okay? And it's not just I'm Amorim in because I'm blind. I'm Amorim in for a couple of reasons. One, because I think right now it's in the best interests of the club. And because it will... Look, we can't even buy a midfielder. Okay, how the hell are we going to sack a manager and rebuild this club again? That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying right now. I'm saying that right now, Amorim may not be the guy. But until this debt is cleared and until we are crippled, Ineos may have effed up here and maybe they've appointed the wrong guy, but they've got to go with it. They have. And absolutely, AR, it is not the fans. The fans are never to blame. In my opinion, in a situation like this, the reason why owners and the reason why Sir Jim and the reason why the Glazers will get away with this is because we argue amongst ourselves. And that's the one thing that I want us to take away from this tonight. And I don't think I've heard a lot of people say this. Let's not argue amongst ourselves. We need to be really, really on it, and we need to be clear with the fan base that the reason why we are arguing is because we basically want the same thing. It's just we are trying to get there in our different ways. So you may want to get there with Amorim in, the same as me. You may want to get there with Amorim out. And I think right now, if I had to be honest, and if I had to say, look, where do I lean? And I'd have to say that Amorim outers right now, and I'm being, I'm not a person who is not a logical person, and I'm not a person who isn't fair. But right now, I've got to say that Amorim outers are leading this purely on the basis that how can, with the results the way that they are, and the stubbornness he's doing what Ten Hag did, how can Amorim, as much as we don't want to follow, or I don't want to follow the same cycle, Amorim is following the same cycle as Ten Hag by being stubborn. So he is absolutely sacking himself. So and I will absolutely be surprised if he doesn't change his squad fast. I generally don't see what he can do. Because says so he goes, get rid of Bienda, Shaw, Maguire, Dorgu, Casemiro, Ugarte. Now, I thought Ugarte was good today, and I will, when I come to the players and we can rate the players together, I thought Ugarte, for me, I wouldn't class Dorgu in that, but Neil, again, respect my friend. I absolutely respect the opinion. Guys, get in your likes, get in your opinions into this one. This is going to, I can imagine this is going to be an explosive one today. Abaktum says hi. Nabi Sam says bonjour. Sorry, my friend, I don't speak French, but thank you for being here. Liverpool playing poor but winning games. Exactly, AR. Liverpool can do it, but we're not that team. We really are not. Oops, forgot Bruno. Glazer. Neil says Glazer or Arola. Amorim to learn what is his system is. He can't play the simple system as the players. Camgore says, I'm a City fan. Unlucky lad, we were just too good. Callum Gold, thank you. City fans, again, it's really nice to hear from you tonight, and I'll give you an insight on today. Callum, I thought City were ordinary today. I thought City didn't get out of third gear today. I don't think City are looking particularly good. I don't think City played amazingly well today, but we didn't get out of third gear. We absolutely just capitulated. Imagine putting Maguire on Haaland, one of the best strikers in the world. One of the quickest, best strikers, and we put Maguire on him. He had Luke Shaw on toast. What the hell? I still don't think that City are going to come back into. I still think this is probably one of the worst City sides that I've seen. But Callum, I mean, we were battered today. It should have been 5-0, Callum. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to try to say that you guys were lucky. You absolutely weren't today. As much as I don't think City played well, we were abysmal. You deserve to win that match. It should have been 5-0. And I'll come on to the players next. And Callum just absolutely deserved to win that today, my friend. Callum, Liverpool need Gahey, centre back Wharton, DM wing up. I mean, we're just get Ruben Sellers. Connor's Workshop says hi. Kirsty Spears says hi. Hello. Scott Bram says, Callum, you're only 2 points in front. I couldn't care less. It cost. Geez, man, you sound like penny pinching Ineos. What, me? The problem is, Neil, is that we can't afford, and this is not, I'm not saying let's not get rid of Amorim because of the cost. I don't think you realise how little money that we've got. It's not just sacking Amorim, right? You sack Amorim, you sack his coaches. You then got to bring in another manager, more coaches, and buy him his players. We can't afford to do it. We simply cannot afford to sack this manager. And Neil, as much as I would absolutely, I'm not disagreeing with you, but it's not penny pinching. We literally can't afford it. It's like if you want to buy a new car, right, and your car is broke, and you can't afford a new car, but you need to buy a new car, you can't buy a car. Like this is not me saying we shouldn't do it because it's going to cost money. We literally can't do it, and that's not opinion. That pretty much is fact. Right? It says, is it the manager or the players? We lack creativity going forward. This was the same towards with Ten Hag. I'll give you my opinion. I'll get through the chats and I'll give you my opinion on the players and the recruitment this summer. Mark Draper says Nuno takes poorly performing sides and makes them into cohesive, well-drilled teams. I mean, look, I mean, anyone's guess right now. Trafford says, well, hey, Kirsty Speed, do you have roadblocks? I don't. No, I don't. 3-0 to the boys in blue. Trafford, it should have been 5. Mate, I'm not going to hold back tonight. It should have been 5. Andrew Tag said, hokey cokey. Was JS at the game? No one plays roadblocks. Niche fan says, get him out. Let's sack him regardless of cost. Niche fan, we can't, my friend. Like, Niche fan, what I'm going to say on this one is that I'm hammering in because on the basis that am I being stubborn, right? Is if I thought for a second there was a coach out there who could get the best out of these players, right? And this is where I sort of am in it before I move on to the players, right? But again, let's talk about Amorim. Let's get everything out, right? In my humble opinion, it's not his tactics, it's not the formation, right? It's these players. That's what I'm going to say on that bit, okay? But even if there was a coach out there who could come into this side and take this team and win a league, if you told me, look, there's a coach out there who could win a league, right? We don't have the money. This is not simply about regardless of cost. We cannot afford it. Like, this is what people need to realize as well. This is not a case of me saying don't sack him because I'm like scared of the money side of things. We don't have the money. We can't sack this guy. This is why it has to work. If this doesn't work, then we're fucked. Like, we're absolutely, and I don't just say this, we are absolutely fucked. Like, people don't seem to realize if he goes, we cannot get players in for a new coach. So a coach is going to be stuck with these players again. And I'm telling you now, these players are not good enough. Rizan says, not red, but you need to survive this season and buy a midfielder. I absolutely agree with you. We need to be sorry exactly. Your midfielders let you down. Wayne, what midfielders? And we'll come on to that as well. In fact, I will come on to that now. So Amorim, this stubbornness in playing these two midfielders. I thought Ugarte was okay today, but not buying him a midfielder and playing Bruno in that number 8, I think is criminal. I think is a disgrace. I mean, what idiot? And I'll save that bit because I'm going to come on to the players next in the recruitment. We need a manager that employs a 4-2-3-1 formation. But the thing is, Frog, ZZ, and again, these are your opinions. I'm going to bring in your opinions. I'm going to read your opinion because I respect them, and then I'll come with a different opinion if I disagree. Right? Eric Ten Hag played with a back 4. Jose played with a back 4. Ollie played with a back 4, and they still got sacked. Luke Shaw was here then. Fernandes was here. Like, they still got sacked. What is it about a 4-2-3-1 that we think is going to solve this? And why should a manager bow down to these players? I will caveat that with, if you don't have the players to play your system, then you need to tweak your system. And I'm not talking about not playing a back 5. What I'm talking about is get Bruno Fernandes out of the number 8 position and put Manu in there. Put somebody in there. Take Manu out and take Luke Shaw out. I'd rather play Heaven. Take those two wasters out of those positions. Luke Shaw can fuck off. I can't stand him. I'm sick and tired of him. I'm sick, and I've been saying this for weeks and weeks and weeks since pre-season. Luke Shaw can fuck off. I'm done with him. I absolutely cannot stand that pile of shit. He is waste of space. He cruises in games. He's not quick enough. He's done. Amorim on Luke Shaw, I don't get it. Put in anybody else than him. Get Bruno Fernandes out of that number 8 position and put him in the number fucking 10 position. For God's sake, put him in that 10 position. If Amorim doesn't do that, he's getting sacked. It's just, and I think as many people as we can need to keep banging that drum. Take Bruno out of 8 and put him in 10 because he's absolutely Amorim is going to get absolutely destroyed. And every team know what to do. Surround Bruno and counter-attack. It is as simple as that. Teams have figured that out. And I don't understand what Amorim is continuing with it, because Bruno Fernandes is not a captain. He's a waste of space. In that 8 position, he's a waste of space. And I don't know why he is continuing that. Barzwell says Luke Shaw was poor today. I agree. Why would Baliba want to come to us? Jeez, he's going to have the pick of the crop. I know the entire team failed. I agree with you. The bias 4-3-3 is needed now. Niche fan, I disagree, mate. As much as I respect your opinions, and as I say, I will read your opinions out because they are valid opinions. I disagree. 4-3-3 is going to get him sacked. It's these players. What's said in the presser? Freedom fan, how is Luke Shaw playing in the Premier League? Luke Shaw's done. Luke Shaw is done. I've been saying this since pre-season. Luke Shaw is done. His positioning is awful. He's got no pace. He was at fault for 2 goals today. He is pitiful. He is a shadow of the player that he once was. This is not an attack on Luke Shaw. Well, it sort of is. He's done. The injuries have done him. If he thinks he's getting into the England squad, then he's a moron. Like, he's done. He cannot play at this level consistently. And I don't know why Amorim keeps picking him. He's done. Absolutely done. Amorim is back in. He has 4 players from the washed out team. They let him get his own team. See what happens when he turns Sporting around. Nick Skolwick says, midfield is the engine of any team. Our midfield is the worst in the league. Can't believe they didn't sort out this midfield 1 step up and 2 step back. Luke, I agree with you. Everyone seems to love an analogy, so I'll ask it in a different way. If you're driving towards a cliff edge and your sat nav says keep going straight, do you continue? Andrew. Okay. Let's just Let's just say, Andrew, all right? Let's use that, right? Let's just say you don't continue, but every single road leads to a cliff edge, right? So you go a different way, but every road that you've picked. So if you pick all of the roads, right, they all lead to basically the end. But if there's this little tiny road that is going to be difficult, there's going to be trees in the way, there's going to be mud, there's going to be bears, there's going to be wolves, there's going to be like so much bad stuff, but that's the most difficult road to take. Would you rather take that road, or would you rather just take the same roads, these big roads that they might lead to somewhere or not? But if you're going to keep on taking the same path over and over again, rather than take that difficult path now, because when you get to the end of it, it's going to be the best thing ever, would you rather not do that? But also, equally, is that road just going to be too hard that you're going to break down in the car, have no food, no water, and you're going to perish? It is the path unknown, and sometimes you've got to do something not like you've always done before, and that's not what we're doing. We're going to keep on sacking managers. We're going to keep on spending money on managers, keep buying these players, and we cannot afford it. We absolutely cannot afford it. Rob, even JB, not a great result. It's clear that the system doesn't work. Amorim won't change the system anytime soon, so we'll end up sacking himself. How many wins have we had under this manager? I think it's about 8 or 9, isn't it? Algernon Jane says, why did like Luke Shaw not come off? It's a fantastic opinion. Again, let's talk about Amorim's subs now. And this is why, again, he doesn't get away with this scot-free. Why the hell is Euro off? We play 1 game a week. Euro can stay on. Why did that bag of shit, Luke Shaw, stay on the pitch? Maguire came on and played central midfielder against Haaland, one of the best strikers in world football, not just the Premier League, one of the fastest, best strikers on the halfway line in a foot race. Like, I'm baffled. I don't get what that was about. And when we're talking about Amorim in and Amorim out and Amorim sacking himself, it's supposed to. I almost think, is he trying to get himself sacked? I mean, why? Just make it make sense to me, right? I'm Amorim in, and I'm still going to be that way until it comes to a point where it's nobody can back him, right? But somebody explained to me why he would take off Euro. We play one game a week. Why he takes Euro off and puts Maguire on against Haaland as a central centre back who is the one at the back. Make that make sense to me. If there are Amorim inners, which there are, make that make sense to me. Somebody who's an Amorim inner, make that make sense to me. Why a manager would take off Euro with one game a week and keep him on the pitch, take him off and put Maguire on when there's an opportunity to do so. I absolutely am baffled. I'm baffled. Neil said he won't ever change his philosophy. It's insanity to keep playing a system that doesn't work with his players. 43 suits this team best. Euro and De Ligt would be elite. If Amorim was working at Starbucks, he wouldn't allow coffee to be served there. ME legend. Aaron James says, I don't know why they won't go 3-5-2. He has to be sacked tomorrow, ME. That's not going to happen, my friend. Me, come on, bro. Then again, ME, come on, bro. Then again, United paid 80 million for Maguire. Let's go, Chelsea FC. United at the moment are a little bit like a pick and mix. You don't know what you're going to get. Jay Hines says, RS, I don't know what that is, mate. Amorim wants to serve fried chicken in a vegan restaurant. Keep them coming, guys. Keep them coming because we can't hold back. We can't hold back. Wayne Ferris says, my side, Liverpool, were very lucky today. Wayne, legend of the chat, my friend. Yes and no, right? Liverpool, lucky to get a result today, yes. But you've bought players and you've got players who can win you games. And maybe it was a little bit of luck, Wayne, but you make your own luck. You make your own luck. You've bought players, and eventually that team is going to click. But you make your own luck, my friend. You absolutely make your own luck. And is it lucky? Maybe, but you make your own luck. And we can't even make a chance. So, Emmy says this system doesn't work with most teams. Only did so well in Portugal. So no other teams except two. If you watch Palace, they defended a back four. The bias says Sheska should drop into midfield because clearly no one is interested to cross and pass to him. And the bias, mate, that is the problem. That's exactly what he shouldn't do. That is what Højlund did. And look at what happened there. Mick Jago says United 2-0 pushing forward, nightmare. City are poor, 3-0 was blessed. I didn't think City were good today. I didn't. I thought City were ordinary, but they should have scored 5. And whether I like it or not, whether I'm Amorim in or not, and this pains me to say it because a lot of people were giving me some crap on the stream, is that this is relegation form. We're not going to get relegated, but this is relegation form. And I find it very, 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 very difficult right now to put Amorim's case across. I'm trying to put it across because it's not just about sacking a manager. It's more than that. This strengthens my stance further than each fan. However, we'll be safe as houses because Ineos won't want to admit they got the appointment wrong. The buyer says Dorgu can't cross and Ahmad wants all the glory. I thought Ahmad was okay today, and I will go through some player ratings. You start giving me your player ratings, and we can talk about that. Amorim is overrated. Neil, I don't think Ineos thinks so. Jim has had enough. He looked pissed. No mistakes in life, only lessons learned. Ineos, admit you're wrong and move on. Go get a manager who plays a back four. 13 million to sack Amorim and his backroom staff. But Emmy, it's not just that. It's these players. You're going to give another manager these players, and I'll come on to the players as well. If he's pissed, then sell the effing club. I agree with you, Scott. Joey King says Liverpool scored in Fergie time again. Joey, you played well today, except for Kirkes. Thomas Frank, man, he definitely would have got our team in the top 6 race. Okay, so we can't sack Amorim. However, Sir Jim can insist we play out 4-2-3-1. I'm going to say niche fan, and this is not against you, my friend. Sir Jim can mind his own business. Sir Jim has got no business talking about the football side. The guy doesn't know his arsehole from his earhole. In terms of football, he has no idea. He can sit there if Sir Jim goes in and tells him to play a 4-2-3-1, I'd say to Amorim, walk. And that would please many of you. But on that, I'd tell him to walk, because what's the point? I mean, if it was a decision by the football side, and it was a decision by the coaches and Amorim and whatever else, then I think that's better. But if Sir Jim as an owner comes down, he's done. He's done. Let the old legs go away. Should have sold Bruno to Saudi, then we would have money to sack him. Oh, we'd sign a couple of midfielders. Martin Fay, 20 million to sack. Amorim, it's not just 20 million. That is the thing. It's not just that. It's basically a whole team. Ricky B says United need a total reset. Sell all the players, get relegated, and build from that, like Fergie. Interesting, Ricky B. My problem with that, but I mean, get into all this as well, is that what you got to understand is that the debt's still here, and when I agree with you in part. The problem for me is the Glazers are still here, and the debt is still here, and until I know some people who worked at the club, right? They worked in accounts, and a few other people there as well. And one of the things that they did say was the atmosphere around the club, and in terms of just and this was before the cuts. The atmosphere, the systems that they used. We're talking about high-end football club as a business, and your software in your computers that you use to do your job in was archaic. The Glazers would never put their hand in their pocket for anything. We're talking about infrastructure. We're talking about, and yes, Sir Jim has now done the training facility, but you still need people to do their jobs and still feel empowered to come to work. The whole culture of this club is still like that. It is an absolute disgusting mess. And Ricky B's right. I would happily right now sacrifice Amorim, sacrifice these players, sacrifice Premier League football if we had a total reset. But this reset has to be Glazer's gone, Ineos gone, the debt gone, and we start again. That for me, we need to purge this club of everything. But that's not going to happen. If Sir Jim Ratcliffe, yeah, I agree. Exactly. You finished 15th last season. Neil Crow says, don't call us United, Ricky. There is a story behind that offensive term. For me, Bruno can't play in mid because he gets lazy too quick. I agree, Alpha. It's like he doesn't like to run too much, and Mbeumo and Chesko turned up a bit. Also, Dorgun needs to practice his crossing. I agree. Let's do a GoFundMe page to sack Amorim. Sorry, John, I love you, but it's definitely a system, the formation and tactics. 1,000,000%. Emmy, my friend, I know. Emmy, mate, you don't have to apologise. It's all love, Emmy. And as I've said before, we can agree to disagree, and we watch football in a different way. And Emmy, my friend, I will always read your comments because I respect the things that you say. And if you think that, then I can't argue with it, Emmy. I see it in a different way to you. I think it's the players. I think if you play these players in any other system, so you look, for example, right, is that when Ollie came into the club and they played Billy basic football, 4-4-2 or 4-3-3, they couldn't play it after a while, and he got sacked. And the same will happen again. If we sack Amorim, and we go to a manager who plays 4-3-3, more than happily, right, if we win a league, I will absolutely bow down to you. I will bow down to people and say, look, I was wrong. But I guarantee you, we bring in a coach that plays 4-3-3, and these players will start playing the same way again. But Emmy, I'm not gonna. I can't put a pinpoint on it, but I will go through this play stuff because there's loads to go through. But Emmy, valid opinion, guys. You get your opinions. This show tonight is about your opinions as much as it is mine. As I say before, I'm not a dictator of this show, right? I come on here. I want you guys to get in your opinions. I will read your opinions because it's very, very frustrating. You need a place to come to get them out. Get them out. Be respectful to each other's opinions, but this is your show tonight. Get out your frustrations. Tell me what you think. I may not agree, but it doesn't mean I'm right. Bus says there's no coach that can help you at this stage. But I agree with you, mate. You might get the same if you change the manager. It's not the manager. Wayne, I agree with you, mate. Q Bazard said, I want to see Wayne Rooney becomes our manager, mate. If you think it's bad now, if you put Rooney in charge of this club, if you think it's bad now, we will get relegated. If you think it's bad now, you put him in charge. Honestly, it will be horrific. Dennis Henry says Lemon should have started. I didn't think Binder did that badly. I thought he was at fault for the second goal, but I thought he was okay. The epitome for me of this was if you look at the City goalkeeper, right? Mbeumo had that shot against another goalkeeper, he would have scored that, but City went in and got a world-class goalkeeper. It was 2-0 at that point. I don't think it matters really, to be honest with you, because it's more than a goalkeeper right now. This is more than a goalkeeper. Maybe Lemens could have stopped the second one, but we still would have lost 2-0. So we still would have lost 3-0. Today I don't think it matters, but Binder, you can see that this back four doesn't his back 5-4-3 doesn't trust him at all. So I think he's an awful keeper. I don't think he's great. So I think he could have started Lemens and he wouldn't have had a worse game. Joey Keaton says, hey guys, your boss looks like a homeless dude who hasn't slept in a month, some bags under his eyes. Joey, it happens to so many of our coaches. I mean, Ollie, the baby-faced assassin, came into this club looking 12. By the time he left, he looked about 60. Do you think if we had a McFred in the middle, the result would have been different? No, but I don't, my friend. Reset it says, Super City are back. Reset it. Oh, please, reset it. Please don't be like United fans. Okay, please. City were average today. It's basically right. Let me say this, right. As a United fan, right, if we beat Sunderland 7-0, and I'll hear fans saying, "Oh, we're back," I'll laugh. If you're Man City and you're beating United, as painful as this is, and you're saying we're back, mate, you need to quell that. When you play Arsenal next week, you're getting done over. Like City today were not good. City were okay today. I didn't think City were particularly good for the first 20, 30 minutes. We were in it, competitive. If I was you, I wouldn't be like United. I would take the win and go, right, we've won, let's build on that. But don't be under an illusion that City were good today. United were shit. We want Wayne Rooney. Yes, Wayne is the manager and those players I mentioned too. How at City back? I agree with you, Scott. We want Wayne Rooney. No, we don't. How did Burnley sign a play like Luis on loan and United wanted Belieber? Luis is better than Ugarte. Luis, yeah, I agree. Because we've got owners who are just... We'll come on to that as well. because I think there's a very good point in there. Chris Barge going on a timeout because you can't keep spamming the chat. Dorgu was one of the best plays today. Ahmad can't cross a ball. Bruno in the wrong place. Amorim too stubborn to change it. Carlos, I think you make a good point there. There's a couple of plays today. If you're marking plays at a 6 being an average, no one gets above a 6 today. Nobody. Dorgu was okay today, and we'll go through those player rankings as well. Why are you Ruben in when you know, like the rest of us, he's too stubborn to ever change to? I mean, I'll give you, Neil, again, I'll go over it again, my friend, right? So the reason why I am hammering in, because in my opinion, it's the players. I'm not shifting away from that. It's these fucking players again, and this is not swearing against your opinion. This is my frustration coming out on these opinions, and I will go through these opinions now. Right? Is that we play against a Grimsby League 3, well, an old League 4 team. Formations and tactics have got nothing to do with the Carabao Cup game. Right? You are talking to Premier League players on 300, 200 grand, and they cannot figure out by themselves how to beat a Grimsby team. That is nothing to do with the manager. That's nothing to do with the coach. That is to do with the players. Second thing today, right? We're playing a derby, right? Liverpool, Everton next week. Everton will be up for that derby. How can these fucking waste of space, low IQ wankers of a players not get up for a derby? And I'm not talking about, irrespective of formations, irrespective of whatever you're told what to do, as a human being, as a United fan, for the fucking badge, for players, for players that have died for this club, who died in a plane, playing for this club on tour, for the people that have come, people that have supported this club, people that have paid their money week in, week out, fathers, grandmothers, brothers, sisters who are not here anymore, who've passed this on from person to person. The two games, Liverpool, City. City is the one for me. Liverpool as well, but City is a derby. Irrespective of what you're told, your personal professional pride should kick in. And somebody telling me that it is the tactics and it's not the players, I'm sorry, I cannot get on board that. How many times have these players, and we're talking about Ranić, we're talking about Van Gaal, we're talking about Ollie, how many times have these fucking wanker players let a manager down and sacked a manager because they're too stupid, they're too lazy, they get paid so much money that they cannot get up? If you paid me today, right? If you didn't pay me today, I would have walked to that ground today from here and played that game for free, and I would have left everything on that pitch. When you've got players after the game like doing whatever they're doing, you should be hanging your head in shame. This is a derby. Irrespective of whatever we are in the league and whatever cups that we've won, these players today showed a lack of urgency. Bruno Fernandes today is disgusting. I don't care if he's out of position today. How can you not put up performances as a captain, blaming this person, blaming that person? Why aren't you grabbing your players by the throat and you telling them what this match means? You've played in enough of these games to know what this game means to fans, and you cannot be bothered to put in a shift. Now, Amorim has fed into that as well. Okay, Amorim has made the wrong decisions today, but before those players came onto the pitch, how can these players not understand what this means? And they've sacked manager after manager after manager. And we'll come on to this as well now. So, recruitment, okay? Who is responsible for that shit show? Now, I've been saying this recruitment this year, and the window for me was at least a 3, right? And people said, no, it's a 9. You look at the front 3 that we signed. One thing I've been consistent on is that you can't buy goals. What stupid idiot or idiots, and this could be Amorim, this could be the football side, just because you've taken the two top scorers or two of the four top scorers in this league and plonked them in this side, the goals don't translate. You can't buy goals. And this is what baffles me, is that instead of going out and buying a midfield player, if Amorim said, I want these number 10s, why wasn't Wilcox or this football team saying, you can't have all these number 10s? Go and get a midfielder. This is a collective fuck up. This transfer window, you spent 200 million on two players that we really didn't need. Maybe one of these players. Go and get yourself a right back. Go and get yourself a right wing back. Go and get yourself a centre midfielder. These players, time and time again, let this team down, let this club down. And for me, this is what I am Amorim in. I cannot blame anybody who's Amorim that. I completely respect that. But I'm just arguing my point. Right? I'm arguing my case. I'm not expecting you guys to agree with me. I'm not saying it because I want you to change your opinion. But I'm telling you from my perspective, I want to do something different. I want this manager to succeed. He's not been given the players that he needs. It's as simple as that. You've got the same team that finished 15th, pretty much. Cunha's injured, so he's playing with pretty much two players. Dorgu wasn't even his first choice, so he's playing with three of his players. And you can argue that he picks the team, but if all you've got in your house is a tin of beans and some cheese, and someone's asking you to make a spag bowl, all you can serve up is beans and cheese. Like he can't do anything with these players. And I agree that he's stubborn. He's not putting players in the right position, and maybe the formation, but it's not the formation. It's these players time and time again, and it's been let down. Now the plays today were disgusting. There were maybe 3 plays for me that come out of this game looking all right. But these players for me are they just need a complete reset. Shesko, I mean, what is the lad supposed to do right now? Why did we let Hoyland go? Hoyland played yesterday. The moment he's in a proper team, he scores a goal. Shesko comes into this team. It is the graveyard shift. It is the death of strikers. You put a striker up front in this team. What's the point? There is no link between the back four. There is no service. There is absolutely nothing. And until this gets resolved, until this player situation is amended, if Amorim gets sacked, I'm telling you, it is going to be the same. But again, that's my opinion. Let's go through some of the chats. You can't play a midfield 2 with this squad. There isn't a combination of 2 midfielders. I don't disagree. All the players should be sold. Ricky, I'm probably with you on that one. Why do I have Rooney than Amorim? Niche fan, I disagree, my friend. You will get Ollie as caretaker. I hope not. In this 5-2-3, you will always get overrun. I don't disagree with that. And I'll call anyone... you will always get overrun. So I'll call anyone disillusional who disagrees. 31 points from 31 games, 71 goals conceded in 47 games. 1 open play goal since January. I'm still going to, Emmy. I'm still going to say this, mate. I'm still going to say this. This club, because this is where I am with this club, right? The reason why I say as well that it's not this formation, right, is because this club decided to bring in a manager. Now, I agree that with this team, with these players, 5-2-3, you're correct. I can't disagree with you, Emmy. You are 100% correct. Okay, it's obvious. No, you can see it. The stats don't lie, and you're there. But Ineos decided to do this. Ineos decided to get rid of Ten Hag. Ineos decided to bring in a manager that played a completely different system than we've ever had in our entire history and haven't backed him fully. People can say that they bought him some players. To play this system, it's a specialist system. You buy him specialist players. So they didn't. So why bring him in? This is the bit that I don't get. It's a bit like Ineos have come into this club. The debt is still there, and they're moaning about the debt. They're moaning about the debt. Then don't buy the club, right? They bring in a manager who plays a completely different system and doesn't give him players, and then they wonder why you only give him 4 players, and you wonder why this team cannot win. And Emmy, you're spot on, spot on. 5-2-3 with these players is never going to work because he doesn't have his system. But then why bring him in? This is the bit I don't get. Why bring him in because they brought him in because Ineos have no idea what they're doing. They should have brought a manager in who plays a back 4, but they didn't. And now they brought in a guy that plays a very, very specialist system. You've got to back him, and they haven't backed him. Just block him, Scott. Bart says Amorim's system would have clicked at Arsenal as it needs to. High energy, technically sound, plays in the middle. You have one of the best in the form of Manu. He doesn't want to play him. Carlos, I'd have Jose and Oli together until Jose retires, then Oli take over. Carlos, my friend, I disagree. But interesting, one open play goal since January. Scary. Are you referring to wouldn't mind getting relegated, to be honest, then we can do open heart surgery? And he's fan. It wouldn't happen. If we go down, Ineos will love it. If we get relegated, what you got to understand, if we get relegated, Ineos will love it. They'll get rid of the team. There'll be an excuse not to invest in the team anymore. Relegation with the Glazers will be horrific. If you think it's bad now, there will be no. My comeback to that, Anish fan, is why do we need to be relegated to change every single player in this team? That's all I'm asking. Why do we need to go down to do that? If we go down, who do you think that we're going to replace these players with? We won't be going out getting the best players in the world. We'll be replacing these players with championship players. And you replace these players with championship players, we will never recover. We will never recover. Do you not see Rooney at Plymouth and Birmingham? Jem, I would currently support. Chill out. It was City, not Nottingham Forest. Have you seen the balance sheet? You may go under if you go down. The Glazers want us to. It would. The Glazers would love it. The Glazers would absolutely love it. Love it. Rizky says, "Hello, bro. What do you like?" I have no idea what you're talking about. Amma don't get space to perform good. JB, I want to get behind the manager. I like the guy, but say we keep getting bad results. How long do we give Amorim? We are too exposed with the 2 midfielders, hence the system that don't work, in my opinion. Now, just to quote Emmy, to quote Rob, I don't need to be Amorim in or out, right? Amorim, if he keeps on doing this, he's going to sack himself. I predicted 8 points from 8. When people were talking about, Amorim and these players, I predicted 8 from 8. If we get to Liverpool, 8 from 8, and we get tanked there, he's gone. I'm adamant on that one. If we get 8 from 8 and he goes to Liverpool and we get tanked, he's gone. So if you're Amorim out, I would be prepared, if you're Amorim out, for Amorim to get sacked. Be prepared for who we're going to get next. That's all I'm saying. So Rob, I am Amorim in. Whatever happens, as long as we don't go down, and people may call me crazy for this, even if we finish 14th next season, I'm not hammering out because it's still these players for me. Give him another 4 players next season, and then we'll talk again. But for this season, unless we get him a midfielder and some more players, what is he supposed to do? But I have to concede. I have to concede to the chat, and I'll keep on reading your opinions out as well. Is that there comes a point, right? There comes a point, and if Amorim gets to Liverpool with 8 from 8 and gets spanked, he's gone. He's done and dusted. Tiverine says, when a manager had only won 8 matches and he say he would continue with his system, he must go. We won't achieve nothing with him. We need the Atletico 4-4-2. Says Jason. Kevin McGee. Amorim is out of his depth. Bruno is one of the best 10s in the world, and he continues to play him as 8. Great player. Play him in the right place. Kevin, agree with you. If you missed the start of the show and my profanities, why he keeps playing him out an 8, I don't know. I think it's an absolute ridiculousness. I don't know why he'd play him as an 8. I've always said this. I think Amorim's going to die on that Bruno Fernandes sword, and if he does, then he's got no one else to blame. He's brought enough. Got AB, in no walk of life does a manager get this much time before being let go for ineptitude. AB, welcome to the chat, my friend. I disagree that it's Amorim. I can't. It's the why do we let these players get away with it scot-free? That's all I'm saying is why do we let these players get away with it scot-free? Why is it Amorim? And the reason why I ask that is these players cannot be trusted. You know, when does professional pride kick in? These players don't pick themselves, but Amorim doesn't have a choice in picking these players. So when do the players get the blame? Some Island Prince says no. Bruno is not an 8. I agree with you, Carlos. The writing's on the wall. AB, I don't disagree. AB, I don't disagree. The writing is probably on the wall. Emmy says 8 wins in nearly a year. It's absolutely insane. Even Sean Dyche would have been sacked. Amorim getting sacked by November 1st. I can sense it. MHRLR, not a United fan, but surely they're doing the same thing over and over. It is the definition of insanity. Even Ten Hag changed his tactics. Amorim, I don't see how he survives lose to Chelsea. He's out. I don't think he does. I don't think he does. I think he keeps going. I think he does. I think Amorim. I think Ineos have to back this for as long as they can. 8 wins. 8 wins is abysmal. But this is a team that finished. I've got to keep saying this. The team that finished 15th last season wasn't Amorim's team. This is his first season. For me, this is his first season. Nobody in world football is getting a tune out of these players. Now, imagine we sign another manager. Rashford could come back. Sancho comes back. What do we do then? It's going to keep going round and round and round and round. And then we're going to be, if this doesn't work out, then we're screwed. You need someone like Stevie G to me. He was the best midfielder to me. No, don't disagree, mate. We need Stevie G, Roy Keane. We need somebody to come into the side and kick the living crap out of them. It's the players. Bruno is wank, Shaw is wank, the keeper is wank, the whole team is wank. You can't blame the new ones. He shouldn't get that long. Joey Keaton says, last week I told you guys United turned great players into shit players. How bad was it? I thought Boomer was good today. Disagree with that comment. And I will come on to the player side as well. I thought he was one of the better players today. Carlos said he should just walk, then no severance pay. Carlos, I think he will walk, and if he walked, I wouldn't blame him. Michael Edwards says, when was our last 3 wins in a row? I don't know, but it's probably a long time ago. And Boom looked completely uninterested today. I knew he would never win the game. Niche fan, I disagree. He was one of our better players today. he was one of our better players. The shot he had, he tried to make things happen. I'm not sure what game people watch, and it's interesting how people watch games in a different way. But for me, I thought he was one of our better players. Well done for watching the Sky analysis. I didn't watch it myself. Sky was projecting that with struggler comment. In Birmani's Kenyan next to him. And I says, are leagues around the world killing the fan support for their national football team? I don't think so. I don't think it is. No, I just think that international football is boring. It's boring as hell. No disrespects to different teams in the world, but who wants to see Andorra versus Iceland? Who wants to see England versus, I don't know, someone crap? I mean, I'm not an England fan per se, but who wants to see Malta versus Andorra? It's just international football, other than the World Cup, is boring. Someone says he's in his own head. I don't know who that's to. He brought Maguire on to be a striker. Amorim hasn't a clue. Nobody should be Amorim in. Emmy, I am a friend, and you know that I respect that opinion. I'm Amorim in, not just because I'm Amorim in for the sake of being Amorim in. There are reasons which obviously I've explained. But I don't think Emmy, I don't know why he brought him on. I mean, I'm in agreement with you. I have no idea. Cameron, yeah. He's young and he doesn't want to burn him out like Kobe. He is. How is the best RBIF all the time? What happened to Hoyland for 2 seasons? It's happened to Shesko. We managed to get the ball to him twice in the entire game, and the rest of the time we were forcing attacks through the wings. Predictable. I don't disagree. Mythkalo says Man City. Well done. Amorim, give him a new contract, shall we? Ugarte can't even make a simple pass. Again, I thought Ugarte was one of the better players today. I thought his intensity was what I think was okay today. At least he gave a shit today. Honestly, I think getting relegated would be the best thing. Complete and utterly niche fan. Interesting opinion. But if we go down, my question to you, niche fan, is this: why can't we Psychopath, £1. Thank you, my friend. Thank you for the super there, my friend. Thank you so much. Really means a lot. Let's get into this chat. Let's get into this. Show all messages. Thank you there, Cycle Fan. Absolutely legend. Let me get back into this chat because I think I've missed some of it. Let me get into it. There's loads of you on here today. Bloody hell, it is all kicking off. Where are we all? Let's have a look. What messages? Psychopath UK, you are an absolute legend. Thank you so much. Okay, honestly, there's so much today. Okay, so switch it up. DC, the only place they were United is Luke Shaw, and surprise, he was dreadful. Luke Shaw was awful. Prince Charlie said absolutely. Mags Hannon says it's all about the money. I agree with you what you're saying. It's right. Our first manager ever was the best that we'll never get. I agree with that. Stephen Moore says Amorim isn't hard enough on your players. Who do you think you'll get? How do you think? Stephen Moore, Chelsea, right now, mate, it's basically pick a mix. I don't know, my friend. You can basically don't know, mate. Who knows? I mean, this team is bereft of confidence. Unless Amorim does something spectacular. And Steve and I agree with the sentiment as well. I don't know. I don't think. I'm hoping for a draw. I mean, that is what I'm clinging on right now to points, right? We need to build from something, and I don't know. It depends on the Chelsea that turns up. It depends, can you imagine that the Chelsea midfield, right? Casido's in there. I mean, he'll make Bruno and Ugarte look like a bag of dicks. I mean, he's just they'll just destroy us. We'll look cycle path UK height. Hello, my friend, absolute legend. Kamira says Luke Shaw and Delo are just pests. I agree. Brian Clough would have kicked him up the arse. I agree. You say these players sacked multiple managers. Only Shaw and Bruno have played for more than 2 managers. The rest are either Ten Hag or Amorim. Now, true, but so Amorim has got Dorgu, Shesko, Cunha, and Mbumo, right? Okay, 4 players. In this whole entire squad, the rest of them got Eric Ten Hag sacked. They've sacked the manager. They've learned it down. Now, again, not all of these. Luke Shaw has done it. Fernandes has done it. Rashford has done it. Rashford is still part of this club. Sancho's done it as well. Sancho may not be here right now, but he still did it. But these players, the majority of these players still got Ten Hag sacked. So these players, it's like these players have passed on. If you down tools and don't play, you get these managers sacked. What's Shesko supposed to do? Cunha's injured. Like, what's this manager supposed to do? That's and I completely take on board. This is your show tonight, and I'm going to read out your chats because I think all your opinions have to be said, right? But mine do as well, right? And these players, other than 4 players, one of them is now injured. Lemens is not even getting a start. Shesko, I mean, I just don't have answers. I just really don't have answers. Switch it with DC. Says Shesko and Cunha and Mbumo will try to do everything with no midfield. Wayne Rooney couldn't score in this team. I agree with you. It's a simple ask. Every player where they want to play and what system, then just implement that. Niche fan, no. Niche fan, I absolutely disagree with you. How can you let players run this team, right? Then what's the point in, like, to me, why do you then hire a coach, right? It's like, how do you hire a coach? Because then if you're letting these, okay, so let's go back to that point then, Niche fan, right? If you're letting the players, so if you're going up to these players and saying to them, you tell me the system and you tell me where you want to play, right? And they go, all right, okay, I want to play in this position, right? Why can they do that against a Grimsby then? That's all I'm saying, right? So if you're asking, ask every player where they want to play and the system, then you implement that. Niche fan, I love you. Your opinions are, and I'll read that opinion out, but that opinion baffles me. Nobody in world football would do that. Make that make sense to me. Make your comment make sense to me, and I'm not disrespecting it. I don't understand that comment. You want to ask every player what system they want to play and where they want to play, and then implement that. Make that make sense to me, mate, because it doesn't make sense to me. If Bruno truly left the club, he would have left to help raise. Switch it. I mean, he's on a contract, didn't he? I mean, he should have gone. He should have gone. If there's any truth in which I think there might be, Amorim begging him to stay. Amorim's going to have to die on that hill. Watch Shahi TV, pure jokes. Fair to blend the lunch lady Robs. I can see where you're coming from, JB. It's the plays for me, both plays and the manager. I agree. It's a bit of both. Plays, you have to be happy with the system. this is where this is where I I love doing this, right? Because there's so many different interesting bits and pieces on here, right? Where I love the fact you got Amorim outers, and the one thing I'm gonna give credit to this chat for tonight is being very, very respectful to each other's views, because I know it's a very, very hot topic and a very, very divisive topic tonight on this game, and we've not even gone through the game yet. Is that I can really, really, really proud of this chat and the fact that we get in here and we are being respectful and we are discussing views. Where I semi disagree, Rob, is that I really couldn't care less about how happy the players are. Niche fan is saying, we need to go talk to a niche fan. This is not me like having a pop at you. This is just me saying it right. Is that niche fan is saying, oh, we need to pander to the players, because basically that's what that is. So we need to pander to the players and we need to ask them, right? And then Rob is saying, the players have to be happy. Fuck that. Like, if you want to come to this club, right, I couldn't give two shits if you're happy, right? Players have to be incentivized, right? If you're playing for this magnificent club, you should be crawling. Guys, these people are getting paid millions and millions and millions of pounds a year. I couldn't give two shits if you're happy or not. It is an absolute privilege to play for this club. Whether you're happy because you're playing as a number 10 and you want to play a number 8, or you're playing as a number 6 and you want to play as a number 2, I couldn't give two shits. Get on that pitch and do your job. Like, you are in a privileged position. I get what you're saying, be happy in your position, but you're playing for this magnificent club. I couldn't care if you're happy. You're a professional player. You should know how to play in a system. Right? I've just started a new job, right? I've got to learn a new system, right? However, my job is still the same. The skill set that I have is exactly the same. I just need to use another system. I can't go, oh, I'm not really happy because I can't. It's not the same thing as like I used to do. They'll go, yeah, but we're paying you money. Like, this is what you wanted. No one forced you to come here. So this, and I get the opinions, but I couldn't care less if these players are happy or not. It's a privilege. You should be skipping into work every day, millions and millions of pounds, people who adore you. I really couldn't care less. This team will play better in counter-attacking. This has been philosophy. Emmanuel, again, I don't disagree, but why did we hire a coach who played a 5-3-2-1, whatever it is? United deserve this scum club. Budson, I mean, do you really need to kick a fan base when it's down? I mean, that's your opinion. But it's easy to say, isn't it? I mean, I don't understand the viral comment. I don't understand the negativity towards fans. I mean, why do we deserve it? Why are we a scum club? I mean, give me more than that, Budson. Give me reasons why we're a scum club, and we can talk about it. I can't talk if you're just giving me that. I need to understand why you think we're a scum club. Niche fan says we made Foden look world class today. We agree. I'm still having the headache after the game. Adam Bond said, where does our midfield rank versus other Premier League teams? I'd say the bottom 5. We won't win many games if you can't win the midfield battles. Adam, I'd rank our midfield same as you, mate. I'd probably put our midfield in the bottom 4, 5, 4. Budson says, blame the owners, blame the manager, blame the players. Yawn. Budson, again, my friend, I don't know who you support. You're coming on here. Again, I don't know if you've had a bad day. I don't know if you're lonely. Feel free to come on here, mate. I mean, get into the chat. This is some good chat. I mean, don't have a pop at us. we do blame the owners because it is the owners. Clearly, you don't know anything about the club. People blame the manager because I think rightly so, and people blame the players. But if we're playing football, right, and you've got people on the pitch and they don't play well, who the fuck are you going to blame? Like who are you going to blame? The fans. Like, who plays on the pitch? The players do. So why are you yawning? Because you literally blame the players because they're playing. So whose fault is it then? Like, use your fucking brain cell, right, and tell us who's to blame. Like, if it's not the players who play on the pitch, right, use that fucking one little brain cell in your head and tell us who is not to blame. If we're playing football and you've got players on the pitch who can't put the ball in the back of the net, can't defend, can't score, no midfield, who else is to blame? The bottom five, exactly. Steve Moss says, I'm a Chelsea fan. The only one who had balls, Ten Hag got rid of. You did. Obviously got sacked. It is the board or the place seems to be very, very toxic, Stephen. The funny thing is fans from other clubs seem to be able to. It's interesting. The fans of the other clubs who are not entrenched in the same things that we are, they can see the same things that I do. It's interesting. Chimera says new players don't fit the profile. They do. It's just they do fit. They do. It's just the rest of the team is awful. Sharbin says hi. You won't get relegated. You're not that bad. Sharbin says hello, bro. I'm very well. Up the Villa. United in the mud. Yes, we are. Up the Villa. We are in the mud, my friend. I'm not going to disagree, but if I was Aston Villa, I think I'd pipe down. I think I'd probably keep my head down. If I was a Villa fan right now, I think I'd probably not say too much. So let's just get this Premier League table up, and I will go through my player ratings as well. Let's go through that. Premier League standings. Just for up the Villa. So where are we? Villa have played. Where are we? So Villa have played 4 games and on 2 points. With -4. So Villa have played 4 and got 2 points. So if I was a Villa fan, I think I would keep my opinions to myself right now. Cycle Party Case says I'm a Glasgow Rangers fan as well as a United fan. How do you think I feel? Cycle Path, yeah, my friend. Yeah, mate. Condolences to you, my friend. Yeah. Come on here, support each other. On here, my friend. Therapy, this is where we talk things out. This is where we discuss it. We can agree to disagree on things, but therapy, you've got to get it all out. Up the Villa, your team I agree. JR, Nunu, Rick, they will back him because they must. Please remember, Amorim didn't want to take the job until the beginning of this season. I agree, so it stands to reason he'll be given time. Available managers exhausted. Rick, and you know what? Whether you're Amorim in or out, I think there needs to be an acceptance that there's no one out there. There's nobody out there right now. Church with DC says that Nuno Espirito Santo is the only good coach available. That's the thing. Amorim goes, there's no one else. Nuno, he's not for me. If Amorim goes, you'd be like West Ham. I disagree with that one, but okay. How many games have we won under this manager? I think Mags, is 8. I somewhat blame most of the fans. Half of them want us to hit the ground running. It can't be done with this shit squad. But the funny thing is, though, Scott, some of these opinions are the same opinions that were saying that we've just had the best window, that our transfer window is a 9, right? same fans, and now because we've lost 2 games, 1-1, we've got 4 points. We've got something to build on. But the same people now next week, if we beat Chelsea next week, the same fans will be, we're back and we're going to win some games. It's consistency. I cannot and I will not go against people who are Amorim out. I will not sit here and say you've got to be Amorim in or out, because my reasons right now for being Amorim in are my reasons, and I fully appreciate that people won't understand, people fully won't agree, but there's a reason why I'm Amorim in, and if and when Amorim goes, sacks himself, then we can discuss more then. Niche fan, let's beg Zidane to come in and get him in English. Niche fan, do you think, Niche fan, Amorim, what do you think Zidane can do with this team? That's all I'm asking. What do you think Zidane can do? Explain to me, and this not because I'm calling you out, just explain to me what Zidane can do that Amorim can't. No one respects Amorim. We need to back him, not sack him. I agree with you. Zidane plus Google Translate is our only option. Every single player is going to be given 100%. Disagree. Remember, the very top managers will want endless resources to get us where we should be. Rick, that's exactly it, mate. We can't. We are what people are forgetting. And again, this is my opinion. I'm not saying that you're wrong. What people are forgetting about this is we are £1 billion in debt, 900 million pounds in debt, right? 900 million pounds in debt. Okay. We can't just buy players. This is the problem that we've got. When Sir Jim and Ineos decided to stick their nose in this club, we lost. And not only did we lose at the time, we lost now. If we get a big coach into this club, Amorim goes, he's going to want his own players, right? We can't afford players. So part of my reason, right? Let's just say we could get Zidane in, okay? And Zidane says, I want 12 new players. And we said, okay. And we got Zidane in, replaced him, give him his team. I'd be up for it. I'd say, Amorim, look, maybe this hasn't worked. Maybe let's do something different. But we can't do that. We've given Amorim 4 players. There is no what as a fan base do we not get on this? We have no money bit. It's not a joke. It's not, oh, we sack him, it's only going to cost us 15 million. It's not. It's going to cost us more than that, because a new manager is going to want their players. And does it mean we shouldn't sack him for that? No. But if we sack him, you need to realise we're not going to get a world-class coach, because we can't fund it. West Ham sacked Moyes, and now they're points charity. Amorim is not the one. Don, I don't disagree. Amorim may not be the one. Amorim may not be the guy. I cannot disagree with you on that one. Amorim may not be the guy, and I may have to accept that Amorim, but I can't accept it just yet. Zidane not confident speaking English. Rick, that's why I said the team is shit. Mags, I agree. Yes, he is the players. You know, would you take Klopp if he was up for the job, Wayne? No, Wayne, I wouldn't. Do you know what, Wayne? Would I take Klopp? Can beggars be choosers? Would I take Klopp, Wayne? Do you know what? I'm not going to lie. Yes, I would. I would take Klopp tomorrow. But would the fans take to him? The Klopp would never come. Never, ever come to this club. And if he did, I would lose respect for him, because you can't do what you did at Liverpool and then come to this club. So I would lose respect for Klopp if he did. But would I take him? Of course I'd take him. Stevie G in our midfield two would be equally disastrous as Bruno in the midfield two. Scott says, yes, Scott. Is this too reactionary? We have no midfield thanks to Ineos. Man City's midfield. No, switch. It's not, mate. It's not, mate. It's not. I think tonight people are a bit upset, which I completely get it, because you can't. How can you not be upset with this absolute dross, this start to the season, and not be upset? We've seen this story time and time again, right? We've been here before. We saw this last season. I think the problem is that if we just say finished 7th last season, right, then like happy days. But we've seen this shit for the last 2 years. It's come to a point where even under Ollie, we saw something, right? Under Jose, we saw something. We're not even seeing that now. There's no bounce back. There's no kick of a new manager. It's just total and utter dross. And Ineos are out of their depth. Maybe Amorim is out of his depth. Maybe he is, right? But Ineos are out of their depth. They have no idea what they're doing. They have no idea what they've taken on. And they're going to destroy this club. They're going to if we change our manager, it's going to be chaos. I'm Amorim because Cycle Path again. Thank you, my friend. I've only just got down to that. Try to be a Glasgow Rangers fan. Sack Amorim. He's not the solution. Is Camera? Tell me what the solution is, my friend. What I'm going to ask is you tell me, because no one else is. Tell me what manager you would go and get and why. That's all I'm going to ask now from the chat. Is you tell me what manager you would go and get and why. And I need you to bear this in mind. He's not going to get players. He's maybe get 3 players. He's not going to get like a whole new team. So you need to factor in an injury prone Mason Mount. You need to factor in a shitty Luke Shaw. Maguire might get an extension on his contract. There's talk of Casemiro getting an extension on his contract. You tell me a manager that can come in with this squad, because that's what he's going to get. You tell me a manager that can come into this squad and why. My Sports Rant says, we didn't take our chances and were poor. Defensively, Shaw was poor. Maguire wasn't great when he come on. City were clinical. Yeah, I think I pretty much sort of agree with that. We didn't really have chances. That's what the only thing I would disagree with you on that one is that, we didn't have a chances. It can happen. We aren't entitled to win. The Etihad 3-0 was obviously not good enough. I think we should have probably have lost 5-0. Amber needs to go. Young Money. The Cave Room says, yo, it's Joe Hardy. So it's Joe Hendry. Who's Joe Hendry? I don't know who that is. Tell me who that is. Needs 25. When is he getting sacked then? Nizla, I don't know, my friend. Johnson Street says, City are streets ahead of United. Amorim can't be judged on losing the City. Pretty much, mate. Pretty much. I don't disagree. Young Money says his tactics are too rigid. Say his name and he appears. Cave Room says, say his name and he appears. Fair enough. I wouldn't sack him yet. No man just stands out to me. Ten Hag was the man until he wasn't. Same with Amorim. The Gelsman not been crazy at Germany. Do you know what, Sports Runner? I think that's a very, very intelligent thing to say. Again, that's another reason why I wouldn't let him go, is because there's nobody that stands out. We cannot rush it. If Ineos at the end of next season, if we give the job, so if we let Amorim go to the end of the season and then they decide to let him go, I could accept that more. I can. But sacking a manager mid-season doesn't work. It just doesn't work. Cool. Somebody calling me Mark Goldbridge. I love it. Hilarious. Fuck off, mate. No one said he's Mark Goldbridge. Is somebody calling me Mark Goldbridge? Look, look. At the end of the day, there's no point in it's a bit like, right, comparing me to him. He has been doing this for 10 years. He is a legend in his own right. He's got a very, very successful channel. He does what he does extremely well. It's a bit like, comparing me to him, it's a bit like I am a non-league South football team, and he's like Real Madrid. There's just no need. I'm not trying to be Goldbridge. He's his own person. Nobody can be Goldbridge. He is his own man. We do what we do here. You know, there's no point. No point, my friend. I never thought I'd miss Moyes. Chelsea will smash this team. Stop expecting things against top teams. Camara. We've got to live in hope, my friend. Alpha China says it's the same players. Don't think the players can work magic under different systems, but with his choices, Amorim is really starting to be frustrating. Alpa, I pretty much agree with that, mate. Young Money says the earlier he goes, the quicker we can try to build something. But Young Money, we've been doing that for 10 years, mate. We've been doing it for 10 years. Like, if he goes, what are we going to build? Right? When Ten Hag left, we're going to build something. What's going to happen when the next coach comes into this side and we're still trying to build stuff? Like, that's all I'm saying. Is I'm not disagreeing, but all I'm hearing is Amorim to be sacked. Tell me in the chat, just tell me who's going to do that. Who would you trust to come in to build stuff? Amorim has to go now. Say his name and he'll appear. No service for our striker is crime. That's possible. Nizza said score. Yeah, 3-0. Kenny Davis said he would come good, defend, at least tackle. Liverpool max points. Yeah, Liverpool. There's absolutely no point in me even trying to talk about a team that is on a different stratosphere to us. There's absolutely no point. Liverpool, as I said at the beginning of the season, right? The difference between the top 4 teams and us are you are saying to yourselves, we're going to try and win a league by buying players. We are living on hopes and dreams to finish 6th. We are not that team right now. We are not that team in money, in players. We are shopping in Poundland while Madrid and Liverpool are shopping in Harrods. We're shopping in Poundland where we're trying to find bargains. We're trying to find 50p bargains in Poundland. And you're just flashing the cash. We are just absolutely nowhere near giving the full season. I agree with you. We need a straightforward coach to tell the players to get rid of, to get the ball to the striker. Interesting opinion. Arsenal backed Arteta when things were bad, and he showed what happens when you back the manager. I agree with you. They've had ample opportunity second half. The Ferguson era is well and true. Mate, the Fergie era was over as soon as he left. Sports Rant says we didn't lose because of the system, bad errors from individual and lack of finishing. I think we lost because of the players. Andrew said 71 watching and only 9 likes. Hit thumbs up, guys. Yeah, give us a big thumbs up. It really does help the channel out. Exactly the plays. It's the plays, not Amorim. Wow, what a game. RIP Ricky Hatton. Yeah, Ricky Hatton today. Let's give him a big up, Ricky Hatton. Again, as we're talking about all this, and we're talking about and we're discussing Amorim in and Amorim out and Amorim shaky, like all about and these players, these spoiled players who we've got to make happy on 300k a week, and you've got Ricky Hatton, mental health struggles. I mean, I know what that's like. I do have mental health myself, not a pretend mental health condition, but I do have, and I've suffered with it through pretty much my whole life. One of the things I'm passionate about, and this is why I will hear you guys out, because we predominantly, females on here as well, and I say it because I sound like a weird guy, but football is predominantly a male sport, and on here we are predominantly males, right? But women are welcome as well, and it's not, mental health is not just for men, right? But one of my passions in life is men's mental health, and many people have known people to end their own lives. I'm very, very, very passionate about that, having a very similar experience myself with me. So when we're talking about Ricky Hatton, it will come out in the wash. But a man, having his issues and his demons. So I truly understand that as well. So this is why it's important to me, and everything that I say on here is said with love. Sometimes I get a bit annoyed, but most of the things I say are said with love, because at the end of the day, this is why this community and things like this are important, because it gives you guys a place to come. And I'm sure there are other places you'd rather be, or I'm sure there's other channels that you can go to, but come here, talk about your issues. We're not going to, we don't on here. I do not avoid the difficult conversations. So guys, get into the chat. That is really, really important to me. So Ricky Hatton, how's Shaw still playing for United? I don't know, my friend. I think he's awful. United, the man just shapes the team, but he has to work out what he has initially. Johnson Street, I agree with you. The formation doesn't suit our players. They're not technically gifted to play the formation simple. Young money, mate, valid opinion. Does Amorim want to survive and changes formation? I'm still adamant it's not the formation, but what I will concede is, if you don't have the players to play the formation, doesn't matter how stubborn you are, don't play the formation or tweak it, right? So if he knows these players are too stupid to play his formation, tweak it. I'm not asking him to change the system. I'm asking him to tweak it, or at least change the players. Vicky B says, after Ferguson retired from management, however, he should have moved to the boardroom. I think he was a bit too old at that point, my friend. Miss Cunha should have started Manu there. He's our best carrier of the ball. I don't disagree. I am done watching United. The pain they're crushing me is too much. I'm done. Libcon, you might be done with them. Don't be done with us. Come back on here. Let us know. I know it is the thing about these football players, and what bugs just bugs me more than anything else, is they don't understand the mental health impact it has on people. And people who don't like football may say, like that is a ridiculous thing to say, but we follow these people. They cause us ups and downs every week. And if it's one of the things that you look forward to, all I'm asking from these players is show some effort, show a bit of pride, show a bit of balls, and play football. The pain will soon be over. JB, if I came to you at work and said, how can I get the best out of you and what's going to make you most comfortable, would that be better than to tell you to do something you're uncomfortable with? Niche fan, I agree, but I'm not getting paid 300 grand a week and I don't play football. I get the analogy, niche fan, but it's completely different. It's completely different. It's completely different. You can't, I'm not famous, right? I'm not famous. I'm never going to be famous, right? And you're talking about these players who are world famous players who have the world at their feet, access to so many different things. I couldn't give a toss if they're happy or not. They need to play for this club. It is an honour to play for this club. Now, if I went to work and I was getting paid 300k a week, and it was like a really prestigious job where you'd have fame and fortune, then that's a different story, mate. But it's completely different. The pain will make the payoff more sweet. Hang in there. My sports roundup. I don't disagree. I've said him all the way. Not sack him. I agree. Thomas says true. Amorim out. Amorim in. Ancelotti is available. He's not. He's in Brazil, isn't he? Yoga says, "What are you feeling now?" I'm done. The bomb squad. We're still going to blame the players. I'll blame the players for the toxicity. It's gonna take time to get rid of that from the club. Can you blame them now? No. Can you blame them for this season? No, you can't. I'm not blaming players for this season. I'm blaming them for holding this club back. Whether we like it or not, Sancho has held this club back. Financially, these players still do, because these are assets and they're still holding the club back because we can't sell them. So they are holding us back financially, but from a club perspective, no. I still back him, but I get the concern. I do as well. I absolutely back him. I really do. Football is a distraction. People, there are real issues happening. I agree with you. I agree. FG89, agree with you, mate. I'm not going to disagree, but I also accept that with some people, football in there, people go through stuff, right? There are much more important things than watching people play football. But what I'm saying is that there are people who go through things in life, but watching a game of football makes them better, makes them feel better in their lives. So imagine if that's the only thing you've got in your life is you support your team and it makes you feel good about yourself, and then they're not playing, I get it, but football is quite important to people as well. We are playing better than we was when Ten Hag got sacked in terms of how much possession we have and chances. Switcher with DC says, worried about the 3-0 loss. Man City should be worried about 115 charges. Players or no players, coach get to take the ownership. His formation is flawed. Still losing because of individual errors and wasteful finishing. My sports, I agree with you, mate. Rasmus scored for his debut for Napoli. What was going on with my club? Libcon, mate, it is ridiculous. Players are human beings. Clearly, you want players happy or it will come out on the field. You have to look at Fernandes. Di Maria, he's a scumbag. I'm sorry. Rashford, it's not easy where we are. Yes, players are human beings, Rick. I don't disagree with that. Okay, you do want players to be happy, right? But I'm sorry, Rick. And this is not against you, but just because you've raised that, just because you've raised the topic, I'm gonna come back on the topic, not to you, but just give you my opinions on it. I'm sick of pandering to these fucking players. I'm sorry, Rick. I'm tired of pandering to these players. How can you not be happy? You're playing for. I get it, right? I get it. If you're not happy, so today, right? These players are not happy. Fernandes is not happy, right? Do you know what my response to that is? Then play better. Get on the pitch and play better. It's as simple as that for me. Rasmus looks really happy at Napoli. I agree. You might not have had a great midfield, but there is still a hell of quality there. Johnson Street, there is. Amorim needs to get the best out of it. Amorim does not get away with this scot-free, by the way. Be nice to get Martinez back. Shaw was a big problem today. Shaw was awful. Blame it on the recruitment. Kamira, I agree with you. Owen Alou says, stop playing these players in positions they're not used to. Stop experimenting during the season. Pick the players that will fight for the club and not their position. Yeah, I think I semi-agree with that. I still think we need players in the right positions, but I agree with you. Niza says, relegation or what? No, I disagree. John Street says, Tomb fan here. It could be worse, and you still have the law. It's just going to take some time. Johnson Street, mate, you've been very, very kind. Newcastle fan, welcome here, of course. I think Newcastle Newcastle, I just hope you've got the squad this season. I like what you're doing in the league. I hope you do well in the league and Champions League. It's going to take time, but will Amorim get that time? I don't know. We keep pointing fingers to the owner and the players, but we don't point the finger to the coach because we're scared of going through firing coaches. But I would prefer to go through that until we find the right coach. Young money. The problem, mate, is right. Respect the opinion, and that's why I read your opinions out. So what I'll say is and I'll continue to say it as well, is I read your opinions out because I respect the opinions, but I'm also going to not come back at you, but just going to give you my opinion on what you said. We are £1 billion in debt. We can't buy the players that we need to buy. These players are low IQ players, not very good players. They finished 15th last season. How can we not point the players? How can the fingers not get pointed at Ineos, the Glazers? The Glazers have destroyed this club. The Glazers have destroyed this club to the point where we're going to lose our home. Our home is going to go, and they have destroyed our home. So how can we not? That's what I'm asking you. First instance, you've got to point your fingers at the owner, and then second instance, you have to point it at the players because the players go onto the pitch. Does Amorim get away with this scot-free? Absolutely not. He picks the team. He keeps picking Luke Shaw, Fernandes. That is on him. He's very, very stubborn. That is on him. Today, if I was to give him a score, and I will give my play scores, I'd give him a 3 today. He got that completely wrong. His substitutions were abysmal. It's absolutely abysmal today. It was a travesty. It was an abomination of substitutes today. He doesn't get away with scot-free. But young money, we sack managers. When are we going to get it right? And the common theme, every manager that we've had post Fergie, what was the common theme? The common theme is the players. We always have something to say. What do you think can win us points against Chelsea? What do you think we lacked in this match that we can learn to beat Chelsea? Okay, number one, Amorim, and Amorim doesn't get away with it either. By the way, Amorim needs to pick the right team. Number one, Amorim needs to pick the right team. Okay, stop playing Bruno as an 8. Put the proper players in the proper positions. That is number one for me. Right? Stop messing around. Get those players in the right positions. Right? Number two, players get on the fucking pitch and play. Do what the manager has told you to do and actually play. Stop messing around, show intensity and fight for the badge. And then you've got half a chance. That there is some quality on that pitch. Do what you're told to do, execute it with intensity, be brave. And that's what you got to do. Mark Harris, legend of the chat. Mark Harris is back, legend of this chat. I guess I was wrong about Amorim. He's world class, and with Luke Shaw Maguire, 4-year extension, please. Mark Harris, you are, mate. As I said, Mark, many weeks ago, Mark Harris is one of the first people on this channel, legend of this chat. As I said to you, Mark, many weeks ago, you may be proved right, mate. Mark was on this early doors, and I've got to give it up to Mark. Mark, you might be right, my friend. Andrew Tech, congratulations, bro, for coming out from jail. Cool. The things happen. The only position we have to fix is the midfield, defence, and wing backs. I think the board were not really ruthless enough in clearing the deadwood. Amorim needed a whole teammate. Yeah, Jay, I think I agree with you on that one. Sandaran do hi, I'm from Sri Lanka. Have you ever been to our country? Language, one word, please. No. By the tone of my accent and my voice, pretty much English is all I can speak, my friend. I've never been to your country. Never had an opportunity to do it. Maybe one day. Best window is I agree. Amorim needs time. If not Casemiro, Maguire, Shaw, Delo would have been sold with that thought, or feeling that players like him would be forced out. I agree with all those. They all should have gone. Travis, what do you think we can learn from this match that would benefit us against beating Chelsea? We've got to. Those players have to turn up, mate. Stop playing Luke Shaw, Bruno as a number 10, and just these players need to get a bit of pride and just start playing. Amorim needs to go for Big Sam, has a better footballing brain. Why protect rubbish? Biz, explain yourself. Do you really think we have something to build on? What have you been watching? There is something to build on. There absolutely is. If you watch these games, it's not like we're not competitive. Arsenal, competitive, more than competitive. City for half an hour today, competitive. We made mistakes. City weren't good today. I don't know what this. I don't know what this. Why people ignore the fact that City weren't great today. Like, we let City in. City were not good today. We capitulated and let City and give the ball away. People just seem to just ignore the fact that when we played well in some of these games, Fulham, we should have been 3-0 up. Burnley should have taken our chances. City today, we didn't create a chance, but City weren't great, and we were the architects of the downfall today. People are missing that, mate. I've been watching these games, right? I know what I see, and there is something to build from, but we're just mentally too weak. Puncher Bunny, yes, without Bruno and Shaw in the team, we'd win games. Only one goal since January. Said hi, more depth than you think. You are off the mark with your figures. More depth than you think you're off the mark with your figures. I don't think I am, mate. I don't think I am. We are at least, and I'm talking about debt here. I'm talking about the depth of the club. We're probably about over £1 billion in debt, easily. By the time you put in amortization, by the time that you put in, players that we've not played for, I reckon we're probably 1.2 billion in debt. Nizla, feel free to update me. You know more about this than me, so you feel free to tell me. But the figures are probably about 1.2, 1.3 million in debt, I reckon. Isn't there a credit facility? Cunha, Sheska, and Berman. Now there's no money. They didn't buy those from the credit facility, Mark. JB, I love you, but the idea the players wouldn't always give 100% under Zidane is absurd. Niche fan, again, I love you back, my friend, but I think that's a ridiculous thing to say. Why do you think Zidane would get the respect? Zidane can't make these players play as a team. How is Zidane? Just answer me this, Niche. How is Zidane going to make Luke Shaw run faster? How is he going to make Harry Maguire a better player at 31 years old? How is Zidane going to make Luke Shaw quicker after 2 injuries and being out? How is Zidane going to make Mason Mount's career-threatening injury better? How is Zidane going to make Binder a better goalkeeper? How is Zidane going to I don't get this idea that these coaches like Zidane is going to come in. Zidane will not come into this club because Zidane is a coach. We need the builder of teams. Amorim may not be the builder, mate. Zidane is not this absurdity about these managers like Zidane going to come into this club and fix this, mate. It will be a disaster. Zidane wouldn't last a year. Aaron Hargreaves, you just spent 230 on 3 attackers. Aaron, I don't understand the context. I don't understand the context. Just because you spent 230 million on 3 attackers, why does it make us better? This window was all in all, it's going to bite hard. It is, mate. It was shocking. Kevin Hughes, City sliced us open. Long season ahead. Shaw had a nightmare. Bruno, not good enough. Kevin, I agree with you. Mark Hughes, Zidane cannot build teams. He's a checkbook manager. Thomas Frank should have been hired. Mark Harris, I agree, my friend. maybe not on the Thomas Frank, but I do agree. Adam, has anyone been able to? Adam, you're Pratt. Ashley Cornelius. Amrin should switch to a 4-2-3-1 system. Amrin in. Liverpool fan, don't sack. He must come good. I'm sure you don't want us to sack him. Amrin is making Ten Hag look like Ancelotti. I don't agree with that, Mark. We're the biggest club in the world. We had the biggest manager. We need Zidane. He's a niche fan, mate. Again, respect the opinion. I'll read your opinion out because I respect you, mate. Zidane is not Zidane. I don't understand, Nish, your obsession with Zidane. He's not our only hope. Zidane would. What's Zidane? I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get what's Zidane. What will Zidane do? Zidane needs players. He's not coached anywhere else than Real Madrid. He's not gone to another club and coached them to success. Zidane will not come to this club and do anything. It will be a disaster. Zidane will walk into this club and walk out again. He literally would be here for 3 weeks and go, I can't do this. Not with these players. There is just absolutely no chance. If he's not your guy, then why stick with him? Can he not take Bruno off? Vinny, I agree with you. Crazy football fans. Onana is the problem where he's gone now. Zidane will get sacked. I agree. Can he not take off Bruno? I can't stand Fernandes. Haaland scored goal after 40 minutes. This means the problem is in the system. I disagree, Rami. Disagree. Actually says, hi, bro. Vinny, haha. Question must be asked why Bruno never gets subbed. I agree with you, Mark. Agree completely. Chelsea will be 5-1. Liverpool 6-0. Amrin will be sat this year. Smell the coffee. Mark Harris, as we've spoken about, I said we'll get 8 from 8. And I said if we get spanked against Liverpool, then everyone may get their wish. Because he is the captain, that's why. But I drop him. I agree. Dan Price. United is such a fall from grace, mate. We've been doing it for 13 years. Isn't it chaos with Amorim? Mark Harris, it was chaos with Amorim, chaos with Ten Hag, chaos with Ollie, chaos with Van Gaal, Jose. It's always been chaos. Simeone from Atletico, he'd never come in. Yeah, get Jose, at least he would play the kids. Don't think he would. I mean, you're not going to get back them glory days you did under Ferguson, but you can do a lot better than what you're doing now. Exactly. This fan base needs to get away from this whole glory days stuff because they're not coming back. That you don't, Liverpool, for example, Liverpool, as Wayne says, Liverpool will not get those days back. You're never going to get the Shankly and the Paisley days back. We're never going to get the Fergie days back. It's a different time now. Football is a different time. So we need to move on from that and go, how can we be competitive now? It's more of a competitive league. How can we be competitive? The glory days are done. We need to be competitive. Josie, because he will win games. No, he won't. Scott Amorim is drowning. Bournemouth's coach. He needs backing properly. De Zerbi, Michael Carrick, Ancelotti, if we can afford him. De Zerbi, no. Carrick, no. Ancelotti, no. Manager Q, Simeone from Atletico. Dan Price, if you want to see the most boring football in the world, then yeah. Pochettino would be good. Oh my goodness me. Manager need to learn to change the system. Jason Webb, I disagree, my friend. It's not the system for me, but again, I will more than happily read your chats out. Ownership more. I agree, Rick. Ownership is more problematic than Amorim. Tijres says manager's got to go. Why protection of Amorim? He's shit. Move on, sack him and get another bum in. Mark Harris, do you know what, mate? If we sack him, he'll go. Zidane will come in. He'll get sacked. Carrick will come in. He'll get sacked. Until we change this ownership and until we change these players, these managers are all going to get sacked. If you bring a new manager in, they will end up with an impossible job with the players you have. Exactly, Wayne, exactly. He's not winning games. You want relegation. The players never look up for a big game, never look up for a fight. Agreed completely. Ashley says, sack Amorim, get Jose in or Ollie. At least we play better. Ashley, I'm sorry, my friend. Van Nistelrooy will be decent. Guys, I mean, we're on the verge of just like, we just basically scattergunning, and we are just hope. Trevor McDonald, Shesko, biggest waste of money in your opinion? I mean, give him time. I mean, Jesus, the kid's got no service. I mean, are we already calling Shesko a flop after 4 games? The kid started 1 game. Are we already? And we wonder why. And we wonder why this fan base is so toxic, because we're already calling a 22-year-old kid Shesko, who's never played in this league before. We're calling him a flop already. I mean, come on, guys. I mean, Mark Harris talk with Barnett. How are you still going on? You've been streaming for hours and hours. Because I'm in the chat. If you don't like it, move along. The chat is here. I'm talking to the chat. If you don't like it, there's different places. Don't waste your time. Do not waste your time on this. Tough game today. There's not a justifiable standpoint for topping yourself. Open up and let someone in. Trevor, I disagree, my friend. I disagree. I think that's a very and I'm going to say it because there's some things in life that I respect. Opinions, I don't. Trevor, I don't respect that opinion. I've been there. I've personally been there. I was very, very lucky. You don't know what people have been through in their lives. I opened up and let people in, but I was very, very lucky. I was very, very fortunate. I've known many people who are not. It's an epidemic that young men or men of a certain age, it happens to them, and there is reasons why. There are hidden reasons why. That's why many people do it. It's horrific, and I think you need to be a little bit more. What's the word? I think you need to be a little bit more humble. You need to be a little bit more understanding as a man, to know that your brothers are ending their own lives, and to say that there's no justifiable standpoint, mate. I think you're very naive. Trust me on first-hand experience. How many games you give him? Is he on 31? It's not about games. I can't explain, because it's not about games. I don't want him sacked. I don't want him sacked because he's not got his team, and people will find it very, very difficult to understand that. But that's where I am in it. Klopp took over a Liverpool side. He made no signings. The only 3 first-team signings, it was clear progress. Don't say Lovren and Xhaka are better than that. Andrew, I disagree, mate. He signed a load of players. He didn't get backed, but then he signed a load of players. So I disagree with that, Andrew. I mean, I respect the opinion, but I disagree, mate. He went and bought a new team. I mean, you can't say that. I mean, yeah, but Amorim has come in. He's not been backed. He's not been backed, mate. I just disagree. Trevor McDonald, Lovren is far better than De Ligt. Euro Xhaka was poor, but Lovren was solid. Philip Ram says United needs a leader and not a manager. I agree. Ruben back to Madeira. Here we go. I hope so. Euro was an inch close to joining Madrid. If he did, he would be at the same level as Hussein. Yeah, I don't disagree. Lovren was a god awful, mate. I used to cringe every time I saw him in the back line. He got better with VVD, but I might be able to play centre back with VVD. Sure, a centre back is a disgrace. I agree. Ricky Hatton must have been in a very dark place. I lost a dear friend who I knew for 19 years, who took his own life. It hit me really hard to think about him today. Wayne, as somebody who suffers from a mental health condition, I get it. I do get it. It is horrific. There are so many men. I'll keep beating this drum for a long time. There are so many people, so many young men who need people to speak to, and I think that it's still hidden. I think it's still a taboo. I think men still think that they can't talk about their problems, and it is just something that people need to talk about. And if communities like this can bring awareness to it, we need to do it. Next to Big V, anyone to feel class. Euro might be young. I don't care about Barcelona. Pick the players. Most of our players suit 4-2-3-1. De Zerbi, Carrick, Van Nistelrooy. Nah, I disagree. Amorim out, Kenny Dalglish in. Blue. Bluey Game said if Amorim plays Bruno as CDM, send him against Chelsea, pack his bags here. Yeah, I agree, my friend. The low pay today, we would have gotten at least 2 goals. I disagree with that, mate. Liverpool rules at the moment they do. If Bruno plays as a 10 after spending 140 on 2 new 10s, what happens with Cunha when he comes back? That's a waste of funds. And that's one of my points. Exactly there, Andrew. Why did we waste money? We didn't need 2 number 10s. Bailey J says Liverpool FC. Yeah, United downfall. Yeah, Amorim always subs out good players, which is quite a big issue. I agree with that today. That Luke Shaw, sack Amorim, problem solved. Zidane inherited the Galacticos. If he comes here, he's going to ruin his reputation. A lot of rumours of West Ham rejecting Amorim. That was true. I think United could get relegated, Liam says. I don't know, mate. I don't know. Because Zidane would identify a system that suits the players in the club and implement it, change Zidane for any other top manager. I think United should go back to basics like Everton did a couple of years ago and hire Sean Dyche. Oh my God, Liam. Oh my good Lord, Liam. Oh my goodness me. The thought of that. If we swapped Zidane for Ten Hag, it would work now because it's gone too far. We're just bad all over the picture. I agree, Ryan. Liam says, I think Sean Dyche is the man for United. Liam, don't depress me. Roy Keane and Gary Neville have been making the same bloody videos for 10 years. Exactly. Sean Dyche is who Man United need right now to steady the ship. Liam, you are depressing me. What's your opinion on Altai, Faith K? He's a shambles. He's a nervous, shambly wreck. He's not good enough for a goal. The second goal was on him. He doesn't anticipate. He's shaky. There's no confidence. He's not for me. Steve says he needs time, but he also needs to change the formation and tactics. Otherwise, it's a poor season. Bring back Moyes. A popular opinion, had Moyes been given the time, you think he would be far better in a position now. That's a very good comment, Andrew, actually. If Moyes had have been backed, and I'm going to go back here, right? So if Moyes had have been given the players, could he have been successful? I think he could have been. But we're never going to know. Moyes wasn't the guy. There's and take this for what you will. There's a interview Rio who talks about like the training methods, right? And he's just saying that he came in and nobody understood what Moyes tried to do. So I think Moyes was always destined to fail. I think any manager after Fergie was going to fail. So I think Moyes was just the wrong guy. If he had better players, would he have succeeded? Possibly. But again, I think Moyes now is a better coach. Would Moyes come in and do better? Who knows? This manager isn't going anywhere with all this. This wasn't a tough game. The team's just too weak. I disagree with that, mate. You're playing City away from home. I mean, City weren't great today. City weren't good, but we're not talking Sunderland or Burnley or Grimsby, even though they smashed us. It's City, mate. This is a hard game. I predict at the beginning of the season that Amorim would be gone before Christmas. I don't disagree with you. Don't disagree. Damn, United is in a shambles. They're nothing guy. I agree. Winton. United are going to get relegated. Mate, I mean, yeah. Amrin is the only accumulating the same amount of points per game as last season. Maybe you need new owners to start off. Until you get the Glazers out, I think you'll start to have the same problems. Wayne, mate, I agree with you. 75 are committed by men. Rising, they are my friend. It is an absolute. It's terrible. It is an epidemic that is across the world. Young men, older men, they're men of a certain age. I've been there myself, and it is horrific. It is horrific. I still have a problem scoring goals. He spent nearly £500, bruv. Who spent 500 quid? No, he hasn't spent. Amrin hasn't spent 500 million. Did you just pluck that figure from your arsehole? Because it's not true. Faith K, which messages is he reading? Is this live? It is live. There's so many messages. I'm just going to try and get through. Our biggest problem is this club, is the fan base. This isn't live. No, it really is live. This is live. There's so many messages. I'm just trying to get through them all. Faith Case is unsubscribed. All right, no problem. He signed a load of players in year 1, not year 2. Let me just go through the chats, guys. You look like Mark Z. Thank you. Glazer's out. Let's go. Okay, so I'm nearly through the bottom of the chat. So for those of you who are thinking that this is not live, I'm literally, unlike other channels, right, who will only read super chats, I try and get through every single message that I possibly can. But because obviously the channel is now getting a little bit bigger, it takes me a little while, or I can just put a members chat on. So, have it as you will. Shouldn't have sacked Ollie. I disagree. Saw Neves provoking Messi and Facebook about the 2026 World Cup. Gonna regret when, I don't know. That's the problem. Too much expected from unknown and putting a world-class tag on him. The term world-class is thrown around freely. Who should be the next manager? I'm not answering that question because I don't want to answer that yet. Simpsons predicted Portugal to win the World Cup. Not for me. How many world-class players did Fergie himself say he coached? I think it was 1 or 2. I'm going to disagree with him in that because I think he coached quite a few players. But Fergie knows more than me, right? Louis says, Le Mans has the potential to be great, but he's still learning. We need somebody like Emi Martinez to make it. Do you know what? I don't disagree with that. I think Martinez should have been signed. He wasn't. Walker said this, like Amrin is trying to bait the owners into sacking him, saying he won't change his style. Maybe the rumours he wanted to resign last year were true. Walks, I don't disagree with that, mate. I think there's a bit of a conspiracy. I think Amrin wants out, maybe, possibly. He said he's going to walk twice. So there is truth in that. Hang on there. You will be okay, buddy. May God have mercy on Liverpool because Galatasaray will not have mercy. Cunha and Mbermo out. Sell them. No, I disagree with that. It's so weird Amrin is looking into the same tactics. It's just crazy. Andres says if United kept Moyes originally, they would be a far better place now. We'll never know. We'll never know that. Bluey Game says, okay, bye. It's been a very long night. See you next stream. The nothing guy Amrin after the match did say United has defence problems, but he doesn't seem to understand how to resolve the issue. He has to solve it somehow. Get rid of Luke Shaw. Wayne Ferris says Mark Hughes and Joaquin working with the players. Mark Hughes for me, mate. Hughesy needs to get in there. He said he would walk away with that payout. Right, so I am through the chat. So this is live. So people have moaned that it's not live, guys. I'd really try and get all through chats. Now, before I go, this has been a long stream. I am going to go through my quick player ratings, and then I am going to go. So, player ratings for me. Binder today was a 4. I don't really think he did anything wrong. I think he was at fault for the second goal, but I think for me, Binder was probably a 4. Dorgu was probably a 4 as well, maybe a 4.5. He did a lot of good work down the wing, but his crossing was absolutely awful and difficult for him today. I think he needed to crossed the ball better. He did okay. Luke Shaw for me, I'm giving Luke Shaw. Good night, Wayne. Luke Shaw for me was a 1 today. I don't care. People will give Luke Shaw a 2 or 3. I'm giving him a 1. I think the guy is done. I think he's a waste of space. Luke Shaw today for me was a 1. I don't care. People will say that maybe that's harsh. Maybe he's a 2 or 3. No. Luke Shaw for me today was a 1. I want him out of this team. I've been banging on this drum for the last 6-7 months. I need him gone. Euro for me, you can argue they're a 4.5, a 5. You know, today 6 being an average. I don't think they did. You know, I think they looked okay. Really, really nervous with that keeper and goal. I don't think they had their best games, but I'd still probably give them a 5. Mazraoui for me was probably about a 4.5, 4. He looked off the pace. I didn't think he looked particularly good. For me, that's a 4.5. Ugarte, I'd actually give Ugarte a 5, a 5.5. I thought he did some good stuff. I thought he stayed in his position well. I thought he tackled. His intensity was brilliant. I thought he was fantastic. All your players are ones. No, I don't think so. So for me, Ugarte would be a 5. Bruno for me was a 2 today. Waste of fucking space. It's not all of his fault. It's not. He's a number 10 playing as a number 8. He's not a number 8, but he is the captain. He should be able to put in a performance, even if he's not in the right position, to be able to put in a performance, right? Absolute horrendous today. He's a 2 for me. He went missing today. He blamed everybody else. You know, I know he's not a number 8. I'm not scoring him a 1 because I would score him a 1, but I give him a bump up to 2 because he's not playing it in his position. Emmy says, 90 to people watching. Yeah, guys, just press the like button. It is free. He's upset because his beloved Amorim is going to get sacked. Exactly. Give me some love. Give me a like, because Amorim needs to stay. So Bruno for me was a 2 today. Waste of time and space. Ahmad today probably a 4. You know, again, just I think he hasn't played well all season. People are going to say that he has. I don't think he's had the best of games. I don't think he's had the best of season. He gave the ball away. He doesn't look on it. He was one of our best players last season. I think he looks absolutely off it. So he was a 4. And Mbumo for me today, I'd give him a 5.5, 6. I thought he was our best player today. He looked to do stuff. He got the ball. He tried to make stuff happen. You know, I like him. You know, I think he's very, very underrated still. I like him a lot. I thought he was a 6. Shesko, and I'd love to give him a 5. I've got to give him a 4 today. You know, if he was a youth player, I would have given him a 5 to 5.5 today. Now, as much as I think he's in the graveyard shift, and as much as I don't think he's doing very, very well, I can't give him a 5.5 out of pity because he cost us so much money. So I admit he's in a graveyard shift, but he didn't play. I don't think he played well today. So for me, you know, that he was a 4. Maguire, I give him a 5. Who else came on? Xerxes 5. He couldn't really do much with it. I forget. You know, the game is that crap today. I don't even know who came onto the pitch in the end. Yeah, I just awful. So Amorim today, you know, I've got to be fair to Amorim. I've got to give him a 3 today. I thought that today he absolutely missed the chance to play a different keeper. I think that he bottled Fernandes in that number 8 role. I think he got his team completely wrong. You know, the substitutions, Maguire coming on, starting Luke Shaw, is abysmal. I don't get why he starts Luke Shaw. That's on him. I'd rather have him play, and if he can't do that, then he's got to take some of this flat in this team. But Ugarte played quite well. Fernandes, for me, he's going to live and die on that decision, and he's going to have to fall on that mountain. And what else can we do, right? So he gets a 3 today. And I guess I'll read some more chats and I'm going to go 10-0 to Liverpool. I think Liverpool will win. I think they'll comfortably beat you. I think Liverpool will probably win about 4-0. Fenerbahce. I predicted City to win the league at the start of the season. JB do a watch long for City versus Napoli in the Champions League. We watch the game and get smashed by Rasmus. Let's hope. Frog thing is Bruno isn't a, but only in a 3-man midfield. That's why he wears the 8 and has tattooed on him. He's a box to box, but not in the system. Which says a lot of players need to put extra training. It's almost like they forgot we play in the best league in the world. Considering the match was played at our home, it doesn't matter. I think Liverpool will win. I remember a few people here saying you beat City. Yeah, we did. We did. I mean, I think I said it was going to be a draw. I think we might beat them. I was wrong. But I also did caveat and say that it depended on what City turned up and it depended on what team that we play. And also as well, we're so inconsistent. I don't trust these players. Luke Shaw and Bruno went good today. I agree. I counted how many times Shesko got the pass today. It was 2 MES. That's disgraceful, isn't it? I don't understand why so many fans still back Amorim. He's a massive issue, I think people need to follow who they want to follow, my friend. I knew we weren't turning up today. No Lucha, no Cunha, no Mount, no Delo. I wanted us to lose to City today, I'll be honest, and I believe we're going to lose at Chelsea badly, and then it's worth it if Amorim goes. Emmy, come on, brother. You're killing me. We will honestly be relegated this season, I believe, if he stays. Man United relegated. Interesting. Emmy, I feel that they need to part ways with Amorim to move forward. He's been there long enough and now picked up an average of a point per game. For the laugh, 100% agree. 30 million to get rid of Amorim. I think Jim needs to do it now before we are too far in the season. 31 points from 31 league games. That's relegation. Emmy, I can't disagree with you, my friend. Hops says part ways of Amorim to move forward from what you haven't been the same since Fergie. Multiple managers get the honours out. Emmy, they should have accepted his offer to walk away for nothing. Guys, I'm going to go a massive long stream. What I am going to say is really interesting chat tonight. Again, what I think we do so well on here is that we respect each other's opinions. None of us are fully going to agree on it. There's clearly tonight, I think tonight for the first time, there has definitely been a shift tonight. I think there's definitely been a shift in Amorim out. I think that a lot of you now are Amorim out. I think there's a massive shift towards that as well. I'm not Amorim out, not because I'm being stubborn, just because I think there's certain things that need to change before he goes. Edson says, I'm a street boy from Uganda. I'm a Liverpool fan. You're welcome here, my friend. I hope you're doing extremely well. There's a big shift. I think Amorim is on an uphill battle. I've seen this time and time again. If you're going to ask me, right, I'll be honest, right? If you're going to ask me, does Amorim get sacked? I would say to those of you who want Amorim out, I think you're closer to it than you've ever been. I think that Amorim is a fraud. He tried to push himself onto a Liverpool job, flying over to meet with West Ham. Those of you who are Amorim out, look, I would say to you, be careful what you wish for, because it might well happen. So that's what I'm going to say in it is that tonight I detect a big shift. Emmanuel Joe Coke says, hi, hello, my friend. There's a big shift tonight. There is a big shift tonight. I think there's a big shift tonight on this team. But what I do hope more than anything else, if Amorim does go, then why do these players get away with it? If Amorim goes, then that means Luke Shaw are sacked, been responsible for 5-6 managers. All I'm saying is if Amorim gets sacked, okay, why did the players get away with it again? Will the players get another pass? You know, if he does go, where do we go from here? And that's all I'm saying is, people come and go. Amorim may not be the right guy, and you guys might be spot on with this one, right? But where do we go? And why should these players yet again get, Maguire would have sacked another couple of managers. Shaw would have been here to sack a couple of managers. And then we're then getting on to some of these players, would have gone through Ten Hag, would have gone through Amorim, would have gone through another manager. So what I'm saying is that if Amorim goes, then other than 4 players, the majority of this team have gone through 3 managers or on to their 3rd manager. So when we're saying these players are not sacking managers, some of these players are going to be on their 6th manager. Some of these players are going to be on their 2nd manager. Some of these players are going to be on the 4th manager. Some of these players are going to be on like their 3rd manager. At what point do we blame the players as well? So if Amorim does go and you get your wish, what is the consequence for these players? And that's what I'm going to say. Even after the game, he says, if we run a new system, then they need to change the manager. Like, come on, Ruben, just adjust it. It's best to watch the under 21s instead, Ryan. I might do that. Amorim has to go. Unfortunately, we saw Garnacho. Ryan, they play 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1, like all our academies. Relegation, yes, I agree, John, but he's making Cunha and Mbeumo look bad, and they weren't 2 months ago. I mean, but the problem is, Emmy, is that we thought that we could buy goals. The reason why Cunha and were so good in their teams is because they weren't playing in these positions. It's the positions. It is. Division 1, thank you, Ollie, Ralph. Get a roller and watch how. Emmy, you may get your wish. Red Devil United says Amorim finding out the PL is a level up. I don't disagree with that. But also look at Chelsea. They kept sacking until they got it right. But they got money, mate. I think Amorim is going to walk. Mayoretta, don't disagree. Ariola looks decent. Ineos are signing better players. Yoro and Boomer, excuses will get few as this happens. Come on, John. I'll make you Amorim out soon. I'm not going to be Amorim out, but I'm not Amorim in for the reasons why people may think I'm Amorim in. I'm not Amorim. I'm not happy with this result. I'm not happy with this team, but I'm not Amorim out. I'm not at all. So, guys, I am going to go. 2.5 hours. I mean, guys, an amazing show. Thank you so much for being here. What a really interesting show tonight. Thank you for being respectful in the most part to each other. I think it's really important that we all get our opinions across. Guys, I read through the chats, and tonight somebody unsubscribed because they thought I wasn't live. I will always try to be live, and I'll try to read your chats as much as I can. More than anything tonight, and I do need to say this again tonight, is that in the events of Ricky Hatton today, and I think it's really important to say this as I always do, is that in life there's one thing that you cannot buy, and that's you cannot buy time and you cannot buy health. And we're talking about mental health as well. Ricky Hatton, it would appear that I think is insinuated that he's taken his own life. And I wanted to say this, is that it's really, really important. We can't buy 2 wins in a row, 100% right, Emmy. We can't even do that, my friend. Kingdom of Yugoslavia. Hey, random British guy. Hello, my friend. You can't buy you can't buy your time, and you can't buy health. So the fact that you're here tonight with me, whether we agree or not agree, whether you banter us on here, absolutely, and it's true just for the laugh. People have their demons, and it is horrendous. I've been there myself. You know, too many young men, and this is one thing I'm passionate about, is young men who take their lives. It is in the thousands. It is ridiculous. You know, I think men are being failed around the world, and it's still happening. It is still a taboo subject, and the more awareness that we can make around it, you know, people don't know. People have their demons. People think that people are good from the outside, but inside, it is absolutely ridiculous. I am passionate about young men and all men on the basis of mental health, ME. But but again, even if you're passionate about men, you're more than welcome here as well. You can. Who are the new mods? Nobody at the moment. Mental health problems are the least of the country's problems. Sean, I disagree, mate. I think the reason why, if you look at that march yesterday and how many disillusioned young men there are on those marches, they prey on men, they prey on men who are mental health. So I think men's mental health is not spoken about enough. Yes, there are problems within the world. There are problems, but men's mental health is absolutely horrific. The birth rate needs. I don't know what you mean by that. I don't know if you basically means up or down. I mean the world population is currently on the way down. I mean, Sean, I'm not going to get into a weird conversation about that, but men's mental health to me is it's my channel, and I'm talking about that today. So yeah, but guys, amazing stream again. Thank you for being here. It does mean a lot to me. It means a lot to the channel. You make the channel what it is. You make me laugh. Hopefully you guys make each other laugh as well. Yeah, have a safe, be safe, take care of yourselves, take care of your families. I will be back tomorrow, I think. Probably tomorrow. I don't know what time tomorrow. I'll try and do a watch along in the week for a couple of games as well. Have a good it has been Emmy tonight, so very, very fortunate tonight. So yeah, have a good rest of your morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you are in the world, and I will see you very, very soon. Take care, and of course I'll see you on the next one. See you soon.